All right. Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here today. My name is Adam Warrington. I'm the Director of Admissions at the Community College of Vermont, and this is one of the sessions at VSEC's College and Career Pathways conference sessions, whatever you want to call it. And as I'm looking at my presentation, I see that I have the wrong date on the screen. I clearly forgot to update that, so I will just move ahead to the next slide. Thanks for being here today. I'm here to just tell you a little bit about the Community College of Vermont and answer any questions that you might have about the college and how you can get started if you're interested in becoming a student at CCV. CCV is actually the second largest college in the state. We offer about 1,000 courses every semester, and that includes fall, spring, and summer. So we offer a lot of options for students to take over the summer, whether that be after high school or before your senior year, before your junior year. There's lots of options available. Most of our classes meet once a week. An in-person class would meet once a week for 3 hours in general. We really try to make sure that the college is very accessible to students who have a lot of other things going on in their life, whether that be working a job or jobs or helping with your family, raising a family, whatever it may be. We know that our students have busy lives, and our schedule is built to make it possible for them to go to college and do all the many things that are involved with being a person as well. And to that end, we try to be as accessible as possible to Vermonters. So we have 12 locations throughout the state. The location on the picture here is our Winooski campus, where I'm located, but we also have locations within 25 miles of all Vermonters. The vast majority of our students attend part-time. Again, a lot of folks here are working a job or multiple jobs, raising a family, doing all kinds of things. And we really pride ourselves on having a very small class size. We really want students to have the experience of really personalized instruction. So if you visit any of our locations around the state, you're not going to find any gigantic lecture hall or anything like that. The largest classroom in the entire college can probably fit about 25 people. But the biggest class you'd ever have at CCV would be 20 students, and on average, it's about 13. So I know for me, that's a lot smaller than what my high school class sizes were. We are also a part of the Vermont State Colleges system, which includes, in addition to CCV, Castleton University, Vermont Tech, and Northern Vermont University. What that means is what that means for students is it really makes it very simple to transfer from CCV to one of these other schools, because we share the same courses and course catalog. So if you're taking college algebra at CCV, it's the exact same credit at Castleton. If you're taking English composition at CCV, it's the exact same credit and course at Vermont Tech. If you're taking Intro to Psychology at CCV, it's the exact same credit at Northern Vermont University, but for a significantly lower price. So that makes it much easier for a student to start at CCV and transfer within the Vermont State Colleges system, because if it's the same course number, it's the same class, and you don't have to worry about whether or not it transfers or not. I'll talk a little bit more about other transfer options in a little bit, but before that, I want to tell you that CCV is open to everyone. We're what's considered an open admissions college, and very intentionally we are, because we want to make higher education available to anyone who wants to participate in it. So we are not looking for SAT scores or ACT scores or specific GPA on your high school transcript. Everyone gets admitted to CCV because we want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to go to college. So there's no required testing. There's no essay to apply for admission to CCV, and there's no fee to apply to CCV at all. Though we don't require any testing at this time, we gladly would have you submit SAT scores or ACT scores if you have them. And once we're outside of the COVID pandemic, we'll be offering our internal placement tests that we offer to students. It's called AccuPlacer. It's not really anything you need to know about right now, but we only use scores like that to help you pick the right classes to start with. At no point do we say, oh, this score wasn't high enough, you can't be a student here. Instead, we say, these scores indicate you should start with these classes, because we want to make sure that you hit the ground running in coursework that is not too easy and not too hard either. So we really try to work individually with every student to help them direct their own course selections and make an individualized plan for what they want to do related to their goals. Here's a listing of our academic programs. These are our associate degrees that we offer. These are all, of course, available on our website, so I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail about them. Most of our academic programs actually can be done completely online if you so choose. Most CCV students are going to take a mixture of in-person and online courses. So we offer primarily associate degrees, which is often considered a 2-year degree. Now that's 2 years assuming you go as a full-time student. But of course, most CCV students are part-time. So how long it takes depends on the plan that student has for themselves. If they can only take one class a semester, it will certainly take more than 2 years. But we really are here to cater to what path and what pace and what cadence of courses fits best for you as an individual, and not have you take 15 credits because that's what everyone is doing. So those are our associate degree programs. A lot of students will use that as the first 2 years of a bachelor's degree program, and transfer on to a Castleton or UVM or St. Mike's or New Mexico State University. These are our certificates. A certificate is typically a 1 year of full-time coursework. It's not considered a college degree, but it's all college level credits. A lot of our students will complete one of our associate degrees and then use a certificate as sort of a minor, where they can get an additional credential in the field that they're interested in. It's all college credit, and then have, oftentimes with some of our degree programs that are super flexible, you can do an associate degree and a certificate all at the same time without taking any additional courses. And we have 4 new certificate programs that we're starting this fall: cloud computing, community health, entrepreneurship, and human resources manager. Here's some basic numbers. Again, we have 3 semesters. We offer them fall, which starts in September, spring, which is really winter, starts in January, and summer. Most students attend 2, or, well, I shouldn't say most. It's all over the place. A lot of students will take summers off. A lot of students will take summer classes. It's completely up to you. Whereas in many colleges, you really only take fall and spring courses. If we have students who work at a ski resort during our spring semester and really can't get away for classes, so they may just take fall and summer classes instead. It's up to you. Most of our classes are 3 credits, and an associate degree is typically a 60 credit degree. So you're looking at about 20 courses to do that. In general, 1 credit is roughly about an hour in class each week. And full-time is really taking 4 or 5 classes. As mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about other transfer options outside of the Vermont State Colleges. We have special transfer agreements with 17 different colleges around the state of Vermont, including the Vermont State College's direct admissions program, which allows you to complete one of our associate degrees and be guaranteed of admission into one of the other Vermont State Colleges in a specific program, and knowing that every single one of the courses you take at CCV, so long as you follow your map, will meet requirements for you at that next school. So we really try to make the opportunities for students to start at CCV and transfer as seamless as possible, but even more so as efficient as possible. We know people really don't want to spend a bunch of extra time or money taking classes that aren't moving them toward their end goal. A lot of times that means they don't want to take classes that aren't going to work towards a subsequent bachelor's degree. down the road. And that's why every CCV student will have an academic advisor who's really well versed in a lot of the colleges around the state, especially the ones in their region, and can help you plan intelligently to make sure that the courses you take at CCV are not only going to serve you well at CCV, but also are going to serve you well at that next school if you're planning to do a bachelor's degree afterward. Financial aid and paying for college is always an important question for all students, but especially CCV students who are taking care of a lot of things on all ends of their life. So like any typical college or university, we offer both grants, loans, and scholarships. Grants and scholarships are money that you don't need to pay back, whereas a loan is money that you use to pay for your education. And then typically after you're no longer in school anymore, you start paying that back. And of course, there's all kinds of ways people have other additional support. The most important thing to know is that every single one of our locations has a financial aid counselor whose job is to help you navigate the very confusing process of applying for financial aid, filling out the forms, and all the things that you have to do. I find the forms confusing, and I've been working at a college for 20 years at this point. So they were way more confusing to me when I was just starting my college experience. So we have trained folks whose really primary, almost only job is to help folks through the financial aid process. Another way that we try and make college accessible is by making college as affordable as we can. So CCV is by far the lowest cost college in the state of Vermont. This gives you some examples of and this is based on taking a year of full-time coursework at CCV versus one of the other Vermont state colleges versus the University of Vermont, and then the average across all of the private schools in the state of Vermont. So on average, if you're attending full-time at CCV, and that would be 30 credits, so really doing the entirety of the 2-year program, you would be looking at about $8,400 in total tuition costs. We don't have a bunch of additional fees. In general, you may pay $200 in fees per year. It really depends on what classes you take. So if you take a laboratory science, there's going to be a laboratory fee for that course. But the vast majority of our classes have no additional fees on them. Unfortunately, a lot of colleges will have big student life fees and things that can really balloon the cost of your college education. You're not going to find that here. In general, all you're really talking about is the tuition, which is about $8,400 a year to go full time. And then compare that to the average sticker price on one of the private schools in the state of Vermont. That's almost $42,000. So you can save a lot of money by getting started at CCV and then transferring later. In fact, a great portion of CCV students are eligible for federal and state grant aid, which is in the forms of grants through VSAC and grants through the federal government, also known as the Pell Grant. And when students qualify for those, they pay almost nothing. So if you qualify for a full Pell Grant and state grant, you're looking at $8,345 of money that you don't have to pay back compared to the tuition, total tuition, which is only $55 more than that. So really trying hard to make CCV as affordable and accessible as we possibly can. And a big part of that is making sure our costs are low, which is why when you go to one of our locations, you're not going to find a lot of extravagant facilities. I think one of the things I was supposed to do in this session was give a tour. Well, our tour is of buildings that include office spaces and classrooms, because that's what we do. We teach and we help students. And that's what you're going to find. You'll find very small classes and offices for folks who are paid to help you. Okay, next slide here. The last few slides that I have are really directed toward students who are not quite done with high school have at least another year of high school left. So I apologize if for those of you who are out of high school or are graduating seniors. But I want to make sure I plug some of the great opportunities that we have for those students who are still have a year or more of high school left. One of those options is Intro to College and Careers. Is a free class that we offer to anyone, but it's typically taken by high school sophomores. It really covers a lot of the basics about how to apply for college, pay for college, and more importantly, how to be successful in college, whether it be through taking notes, how to manage your time when you suddenly have all this work to do and the due dates aren't for months and no one's watching over you to make sure you're meeting deadlines. It can be a real challenge. I know it was for me to get used to. So Intro to College and Careers is really about helping students prepare to hit the ground running in college and be successful. It's a completely free class. And it's not for college credit. So you take it, you either pass it or you don't, and you don't run you allows a student to sort of dip their toes into college without running the risk of having a transcript with a failing grade on it. The next option we have is dual enrollment vouchers. Through the generosity of the state of Vermont, all Vermont high school students, all students at public Vermont high schools can take up to 2 free classes at CCV and several other colleges in the state through the dual enrollment voucher program. For more information on this, go to collegevt.org. You can use these vouchers in your junior or senior year, anytime from the summer before your junior year through when you graduate as a senior. You're eligible to use these vouchers, and it's a great way to get a head start and also save $1,000 maybe on a college class, which will pay you dividends down the line. And of course, the course that you take is not only for college credit, but the overwhelming majority of high schools will take that as high school credit as well. So it may be that you need another history class in order to graduate from high school. You could take a history class at CCV, get college history credit for it, and also have that course meet your high school graduation requirement. And then the final program I want to tell you about is early college. If you are a rising senior, going to be a senior next year, the early college program is really a great opportunity and a great value. We offer this at all of our locations, and what it gives you is 1 year of free college courses. So instead of doing your senior year at your high school, you elect to take all of your senior year coursework at CCV. You still get your same high school diploma because you're completing your high school requirements at CCV, but also getting your first year of college done for free. And a student can earn up to 36 college credits through this program, which is $10,000 in value. So really a great opportunity that I frankly wish I had when I was a high school senior. And students can still participate in the extracurriculars of high school, whether that be walking at graduation or sports or all the various things that are part of your community in high school. Still an option for you. You're just taking your classes at the Community College of Vermont instead. So that is really it for me and my presentation. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. While you're doing that, I'll just tell you a few things about our application process if it's something that you want to do. Got the URL that you need to go to in order to apply, or just go to ccv.edu and click on apply. Try and make it as simple as possible. Our application is free. You go to this website, you create an account, you fill out an application. It should take you probably 10 to 15 minutes, honestly. No essay, no requirement for SAT scores or ACT scores. And we are happy to grant you admission right on the spot, really, because again, we're here to support all Vermonters and all students who want to go to college. Again, no fee, no deposit or anything like that, trying to make it as accessible as possible. So with that, I'd love to know if you have any questions, and you're welcome to put those in the chat, or if you prefer, turn your mic on and let me know how I can help you. And if you don't have any questions, please feel free to go on about your day, and thanks for coming today.